Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night, staring at the ceiling, feeling your body ache a little more than it did yesterday? Maybe your legs feel weaker, or you find yourself forgetting names that were once so easy to recall. It's a quiet, creeping feeling, like your happiness and health are slipping through your fingers, and you don't quite know why. Many of us chalk this up to just getting old. But what if that's not the whole story? What if the struggles with strength, sleep, or memory aren't simply because of age, but because of little mistakes we don't even realize we're making every day? In this video, we're going to uncover 10 silent mistakes that drain your joy and well-being. Mistakes so common that most seniors don't even notice them until they've taken a toll. And don't worry, these aren't about big, scary changes. They're small shifts you can start making today to feel stronger, happier, and more alive. Stick with me, and by the end, I'll share the most important habit that can transform your days in ways you might not expect. You're not alone on this journey. Let's explore it together. If you are not subscribed, subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. Mistake 1. Neglecting mental health care. There's a certain quiet that settles in the house after the kids move out and the rhythm of everyday life slows. At first, it can feel peaceful, like finally having time to linger over your morning coffee or listen to the birds outside your window. But over time, that quiet can change. Maybe you notice the days blend. You might catch yourself staring out the window, feeling a little lonely, but brushing it off with a shrug. That's just how it goes when you get older. After all, weren't we taught to be tough, to keep our worries to ourselves? Maybe you tell yourself that feeling down or anxious is just another part of aging, something you have to live with, like gray hair or stiff joints. But what if that wasn't true? What if loneliness, sadness, or a constant sense of worry weren't simply part of the package after 65? Have you ever wondered if it's possible to feel genuinely happy, hopeful, and connected again, even now? The truth is, many of us fall into the habit of ignoring our mental health. Not because we don't care, but because it's not always obvious when it needs attention. Physical health is easy to spot. If you break a bone or catch a cold, you go to the doctor. But when your spirit aches or your mind feels heavy, it's easy to think, it's just a phase. It'll pass. Science tells a different story. Studies from institutions like the National Institute on Aging have shown that social isolation and untreated depression in older adults can be just as harmful as physical illnesses, sometimes even more so. Chronic loneliness raises your risk of heart disease, weakens your immune system, and can even speed up memory loss. Our brains thrive on connection, purpose, and engagement, no matter what age we are. Neglecting mental health doesn't just make the days feel longer. It can affect your sleep, your appetite, your ability to move, and even your heart's rhythm. A Harvard study found that seniors with strong social ties and a sense of belonging live longer, healthier lives than those who try to tough it out alone. The good news is, you don't have to overhaul your life or become someone you're not to start caring for your mental health. Sometimes, it's as simple as picking up the phone and calling an old friend, or making a habit of joining the neighbor's weekly card game, even if you haven't played in years. Consider joining a community center, volunteering, or exploring a hobby that once brought you joy. Try setting aside a few minutes each day to journal your thoughts, practice gratitude, or simply sit quietly and focus on your breath. These small acts may seem unimportant, but they're powerful tools for building emotional resilience and a sense of connection. Let me share a quick story about Mr. Carter, a retired teacher from Ohio. After his wife passed away, he spent most days alone, convinced he was too old to make new friends or start fresh. It wasn't until his granddaughter invited him to her local book club that things began to change. At first, he felt out of place and nearly quit, but over time, those weekly meetings became the highlight of his week. He found laughter, conversation, and even a few new friends. His doctor noticed the difference too. Mr. Carter slept better, felt more energetic, and looked forward to each day. All it took was one small, brave step out of his comfort zone. If you're watching this and thinking, "That sounds nice, but I don't know where to begin," just remember, you're not alone, and there's no shame in reaching out. Taking care of your mental health is an act of courage, not weakness. Every phone call, every walk with a neighbor, every attempt to try something new is a victory, no matter how small it feels in the moment. You deserve days filled with meaning, joy, and connection. Start with just one gentle change. Your heart, mind, and spirit will thank you for it. Mistake 2. Avoiding varied exercise, thinking walking is enough. For many older adults, a daily walk feels like a treasured ritual. The fresh air, the familiar path around the neighborhood, the steady rhythm of your feet. It's comforting, and it counts as movement. For years, health experts have told us, just keep walking, and you'll be fine. It's easy to believe that walking alone is enough to keep our bodies strong and our independence intact. Maybe you pride yourself on getting those steps in, or perhaps you've told a friend, "Hey, I walk every day, that's all I need." And honestly, that's a wonderful habit to have. But have you ever wondered if it's enough? Have you ever noticed, despite your walks, that it's harder to climb stairs, stand up from a chair, or carry groceries than it used to be? Maybe your balance feels a bit off, or your legs tire more quickly. It's tempting to think, that's just age catching up with me. But what if there's more to the story? Could relying on walking alone be holding you back from feeling as strong, steady, and capable as you truly can be? Here's what most people don't realize. While walking is fantastic for your heart, lungs, and mood, it doesn't challenge all the muscles and systems your body needs as you age. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, after age 65, we lose muscle mass much faster than when we were younger. Muscles used for getting up from a chair, carrying a laundry basket, or reaching up for a can of soup need more than a stroll around the block. Walking doesn't do much to maintain or build strength in your arms, core, or those deeper leg muscles responsible for balance. And balance is everything. One fall can change everything in a moment. Varied exercise isn't about running marathons or lifting heavy weights at the gym. It's about adding small, simple movements to your routine that help maintain muscle, flexibility, and coordination. Think about chair squats, gentle wall push-ups, stretching in the morning, or trying a beginner yoga or Tai Chi class at the local senior center. Even lifting cans from your pantry or marching in place while watching TV helps. The key is to use your muscles in new ways, just a little at a time. Take Mrs. Rivera, for example, a retired nurse from Michigan. For years, she walked the same 2-mile loop every morning. But last year, she found herself struggling with her balance, and after a near fall in her kitchen, her daughter suggested they try a balance and strength class together. At first, Mrs. Rivera was skeptical. She was worried about looking silly or that she was too old to start something new. But after a few weeks, she noticed a difference. She could get up from her favorite armchair with ease, her legs felt steadier, and she even started sleeping better. The classes became a weekly highlight, not just for the exercise, but for the laughter and friendships, too. If you're not sure where to begin, start small. Try standing up from a chair without using your hands a few times a day. Reach your arms above your head and stretch, or try balancing on one foot while holding the kitchen counter for support. Look for gentle classes in your community or ask your doctor for suggestions. Remember, it's never too late to start, and even tiny changes can make a big difference over time. You don't have to give up your beloved daily walk. It's still wonderful for your body and mind. But by adding just a bit more variety to your movement, you'll help your muscles, bones, and balance stay strong for all the adventures still waiting for you. Give yourself the gift of strength, stability, and confidence. The path to feeling your best is just a few new steps away. Mistake 3. Poor nutrition, skipping meals or relying on processed foods. It's easy to fall into a pattern with food as we get older. Maybe breakfast becomes just a cup of coffee and a cracker, or you find yourself skipping lunch because you're not all that hungry. Sometimes it feels like too much work to cook a full meal just for one, so you reach for whatever is quickest. Maybe a can of soup, a frozen dinner, or a handful of cookies. Grocery store shelves are packed with foods labeled easy and ready in minutes. At first glance, they seem like the perfect solution. Less time in the kitchen, less to clean up, and more time to relax. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. But have you ever stopped to notice how you feel after these quick meals? Do you find your energy dipping in the afternoons, your memory feeling foggy, or your body just not feeling quite right? It's common to brush these things off, thinking, that's just getting older. But what if those little choices, skipping meals here, processed foods there, are quietly draining your strength, mood, and overall health? The truth is, our bodies change as we age, and so do our nutritional needs. According to the National Institutes of Health, older adults need fewer calories but more nutrients, especially protein, fiber, vitamins, and minerals. Processed foods, like boxed dinners, chips, sodas, and packaged snacks, are often high in salt, sugar, and unhealthy fats, while offering little in the way of real nourishment. Over time, eating too many of these foods, and not enough real, wholesome meals, can lead to blood sugar swings, higher blood pressure, weak muscles, and an immune system that just isn't as strong as it could be. But eating well doesn't have to be complicated, expensive, or lonely. Start by making small, sustainable changes. If you're used to skipping breakfast, try a bowl of oatmeal with a handful of berries, or a slice of whole grain toast with peanut butter. At lunchtime, throw together a salad with spinach, beans, and a sprinkle of cheese, or heat you your homemade soup packed with vegetables and lean protein. For dinner, roast a chicken breast or a piece of salmon, add some sweet potatoes, and steam a side of broccoli. Even on a tight budget, frozen vegetables and canned beans can be healthy staples. Just choose options with little or no added salt. If you don't enjoy eating alone, make food an opportunity for connection. Invite a neighbor over to share a meal, or organize a potluck with friends from your community group. You can even join a local cooking class or try sharing recipes with family members. The act of preparing and sharing a meal brings back a sense of purpose and joy that's easy to lose track of. Let me tell you about Mrs. Jenkins, a widow from Texas who found herself losing weight and feeling tired all the time after her husband passed. Meals felt meaningless, and she drifted toward packaged snacks just to fill the void. It wasn't until her daughter noticed and offered to meal prep together on Sundays that things began to shift. Little by little, Mrs. Jenkins rediscovered the simple pleasure of cooking and eating real food. She gained back her strength, her mood brightened, and she even started inviting friends for tea and toast in the afternoons. That gentle change made all the difference. So if you're watching this, remember, nourishing your body is a powerful way to care for yourself, and it's never too late to start. Small, mindful choices each day can add up to big improvements in your energy, your health, and your happiness. You deserve meals that leave you feeling satisfied, strong, and ready to enjoy all the moments life still has to offer. Take it one meal at a time. Your body and spirit will thank you. Mistake 4. Drinking too little water, causing silent dehydration. It's funny how something as simple as water can slip our minds, especially as we get older. Maybe you start your day with a steaming cup of coffee, then switch to tea in the afternoon. By evening, perhaps you've had a glass of juice or a soda, but a tall glass of plain water? That sometimes just doesn't make the list. For many older adults, the sensation of thirst fades. You might not even notice you're drinking less than you used to. After all, you're not sweating from yard work or running after kids anymore. Surely your body doesn't need as much as it once did, right? But have you ever wondered why you sometimes feel tired for no reason, get headaches that linger, or find it harder to concentrate on simple tasks? Maybe your joints ache a bit more, or you feel dizzy when you stand up too quickly. Most people chalk these things up to aging, but what if they're the result of something much simpler and much more fixable? Science has shown that as we age, our bodies become less efficient at conserving water, and our thirst mechanism gets weaker. The Mayo Clinic and other experts warn that even mild dehydration can affect memory, mood, and balance. Water helps every cell, tissue, and organ in your body do its job, from pumping blood, to lubricating joints, to regulating temperature, and flushing out toxins. When you don't drink enough, the effects add up quietly, sometimes without the classic sign of feeling thirsty. The good news? Staying hydrated isn't about forcing yourself to chug gallons or carry around a giant water bottle all day. It's about making small, manageable habits part of your daily rhythm. Start your morning with a full glass of water before coffee. Keep a favorite glass or cup in sight on the kitchen counter and take sips throughout the day. If plain water isn't appealing, try infusing it with a slice of lemon, cucumber, or a few berries. Herbal teas or diluted fruit juice can also count toward your daily intake, but water should be the star. You can also pay attention to the signs your body gives you. If your mouth feels dry, your urine is dark, or you're more tired than usual, these might be gentle nudges to reach for water. And don't wait until you're thirsty. By then, your body may already be a little dehydrated. For some people, especially those on certain medications or with health conditions, the risk is even higher, so it's worth chatting with your doctor about your personal needs. Let me share a story about Mr. Simmons, a retired railroad worker from Pennsylvania. He loved his morning coffee and his afternoon iced tea, but water just never seemed necessary. Over time, he started noticing that his memory was foggier and he felt achy in his joints. His doctor suggested a simple fix: drink at least 6 to 8 glasses of water a day. At first, it was an effort, but he made it a little game, taking a sip every time he checked his watch. Within weeks, his energy improved, his headaches faded, and his mind felt sharper. It wasn't a magic pill, just a little more water every day. If you're watching this and thinking, "That sounds easy, but I'll forget," you're not alone. Try setting reminders on your phone or jotting down a little note on the fridge. Fill a pitcher each morning and make it your goal to empty it by bedtime. And don't be too hard on yourself if you slip. It's the steady, gentle effort that counts. Remember, water is one of the simplest, most affordable gifts you can give your body. Each glass is a quiet act of care that keeps you feeling vibrant, steady, and ready to enjoy each new day. Cheers to your health, one sip at a time. Mistake 5. Ignoring pain signals and skipping regular health checkups. For many older adults, aches and pains have simply become part of the landscape of daily life. Maybe it's a stiff knee in the morning, an ache in your lower back by afternoon, or a twinge in your shoulder every time you reach for something on a high shelf. It's easy to tell yourself, "Well, that's just how it is at my age," and brush off these discomforts as nothing more than the price of getting older. The truth is, most of us grew up in a time when people toughed it out, avoided complaining, and only saw the doctor if something was truly unbearable. But here's a question worth considering. What if those aches and pains are your body's way of telling you something important? What if ignoring them or postponing regular checkups is putting your health and independence at risk? Medical science has shown us that pain is not just an annoyance, it's often a signal. According to the CDC and leading geriatric specialists, persistent pain can be a warning sign for underlying conditions such as arthritis, diabetes, heart problems, or even early signs of cancer. It's not just about comfort, it's about catching problems early, when they're often easier to treat and manage. Skipping regular checkups, especially after the age of 65, can mean missing subtle warning signs that could prevent much bigger problems down the road. It's easy to avoid making appointments, especially if you feel nervous about what the doctor might say or you don't want to be a bother. Some folks worry about the cost or about finding transportation. Others simply feel embarrassed or think, "I'll just wait and see if it goes away." But here's the thing, your health is worth the effort. Catching issues early can mean simpler treatments, less pain in the long run, and more years of active, independent living. Making this change doesn't have to feel overwhelming. Start by listening to your body and taking note of any aches, pains, or changes that seem out of the ordinary. Keep a small notebook to jot down symptoms, even things that seem minor, like changes in sleep, appetite, or mood. Make a list of questions or concerns before you visit the doctor. Don't be afraid to speak up. Most healthcare providers appreciate patients who are proactive and honest about what they're experiencing. If getting to appointments is a challenge, reach out for help. Many communities offer senior ride programs, and some clinics now provide telehealth visits so you can speak with a doctor from the comfort of your own home. And remember, Medicare and many insurance plans cover an annual wellness visit and preventive screenings. These are benefits you've earned, and they're there to keep you healthy. Let me tell you about Mrs. Patterson, a retired librarian from Ohio. She used to ignore the stiffness in her hands, blaming it on just arthritis. When her daughter finally convinced her to see a doctor, a simple blood test revealed the early stages of rheumatoid arthritis, something that, when treated early, is much easier to manage. With the right medication and some gentle hand exercises, Mrs. Patterson now enjoys her weekly quilting group and even bakes cookies with her grandkids. She says her biggest regret is not listening to her body sooner. So if you're watching this, remember, pain is not something you have to accept or endure in silence. It's a message, a gentle nudge to take care of yourself. Regular checkups are not just a chore, they're a gift you give your future self. By paying attention and taking action, you can catch small problems before they become big ones, keep your independence longer, and enjoy more of the things you love. Your well-being matters. Don't ignore your body's signals. Make that call, schedule that appointment, and give yourself the care you truly deserve. Mistake 6. Refusing help and isolating oneself. As we grow older, many of us take great pride in our independence. We've worked hard all our lives to take care of ourselves and our families, and the idea of needing help can sometimes feel like a blow to that hard-earned freedom. It's natural to want to do things on your own, to keep control over your daily routine, and to avoid feeling like a burden. But sometimes, that determination to do it all myself can quietly lead to something more harmful: isolation. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Maybe you've noticed that you've been turning down invitations more often, or perhaps you've stopped answering the phone because you don't want to make excuses. Maybe you find yourself spending more and more time alone, even though part of you longs for company. It's easy to tell yourself that you're fine or that you don't want to bother anyone with your problems. But here's a gentle question to consider. Is refusing help and isolating yourself protecting your independence, or is it slowly taking away the very connection and support that keep you strong? Research has shown that social isolation and loneliness can have serious effects on our health, both mental and physical. The National Institute on Aging tells us that feeling cut off from others increases the risk of heart disease, depression, cognitive decline, and even early death. Humans are wired for connection, and staying connected isn't just good for your spirit, it's good for your body too. When we isolate, we miss out on the joy of shared moments, the comfort of support during tough times, and the simple boost that laughter and friendship bring. The truth is, accepting help doesn't mean you're weak or losing your independence. It means you're wise enough to recognize that we all need a little support sometimes. Asking for help can be as simple as letting a neighbor pick up groceries, joining a community group, or even inviting a friend over for coffee. It can also mean opening up to family members about your needs or concerns, and letting them be part of your journey. You don't have to do everything alone, and you certainly don't have to face life's challenges in silence. Take the story of Mr. Jenkins, a veteran from Oregon. After his wife passed away, he found himself more isolated than ever, refusing visits and turning down offers of help. His daughter grew worried and gently encouraged him to join a veterans social group at the local community center. At first, he was reluctant, feeling unsure and vulnerable. But with time, Mr. Jenkins discovered friendships, shared stories, and even laughter that lifted his spirits. He realized that accepting support didn't diminish him. It enriched his life and helped him find a new purpose. If you're watching this and feeling hesitant about reaching out, know that you're not alone. Taking that first step can be hard, but it's also one of the most courageous things you can do. Start small. Maybe say yes to a phone call from a friend, or try attending a local event where you feel comfortable. Remember, connection is a two-way street, and people want to be there for you just as you've been there for others. You deserve to live surrounded by warmth, support, and friendship. Letting others in is not losing control. It's embracing a fuller, richer life. No one thrives in isolation, and you don't have to either. Reach out, accept a helping hand, and open your heart to the connections waiting for you. Your best days can still be ahead, filled with moments shared and love renewed. Mistake 7. Poor or irregular sleep. Sleep, it's something we all look forward to, yet for many of us over 65, it becomes a frustrating and elusive part of life. Maybe you find yourself waking up several times during the night, or struggling to fall asleep in the first place. Sometimes, you might wake up too early and lie in bed, wide awake, watching the clock tick away. You tell yourself, this is just how it is when you get older, or I'll catch up on sleep later, but deep down, you know those restless nights leave you feeling tired, irritable, and less able to enjoy your days. But what if poor sleep isn't simply a natural part of aging? What if there are gentle ways to reclaim those peaceful nights and wake up feeling refreshed? It's easy to accept disrupted sleep as something out of our control, but the truth is, many common habits and changes in our daily routines silently interfere with our ability to rest deeply. Scientists have found that as we age, our sleep cycles do shift. The time spent in deep, restorative sleep decreases, and it's normal to have lighter, shorter periods of sleep. However, poor sleep quality is often worsened by factors we can influence. Irregular bedtime schedules, too much caffeine or alcohol late in the day, exposure to screens before bed, or a bedroom environment that isn't quite right. Even worries and stress can sneak in and keep us tossing and turning. One simple but powerful step is to establish a relaxing bedtime routine that signals to your body it's time to wind down. This could be as easy as dimming the lights an hour before bed, reading a favorite book, or listening to soft music. Avoid screens like phones, tablets, and TVs. They emit blue light that tricks your brain into thinking it's still daytime. Try to go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends. Your body thrives on routine. Creating a comfortable sleep environment matters. 2. A cool, dark, and quiet room can make all the difference. Consider blackout curtains or a white noise machine if outside sounds disturb your rest. Pay attention to your mattress and pillows. Sometimes, small adjustments here can ease aches and make falling asleep easier. Let me share a story about Mrs. Harris, a retired schoolteacher from Florida. She struggled for years with waking up multiple times each night and feeling exhausted all day. She accepted it as just part of getting old, until her granddaughter suggested a few changes. Mrs. Harris started turning off her phone an hour before bedtime, switched her late afternoon coffee to herbal tea, and added a brief stretch routine in the evening. It wasn't overnight magic, but gradually, her sleep deepened and those frequent awakenings lessened. Her days brightened, and she found herself enjoying her morning walks again. If you find yourself lying awake at night, don't get frustrated. Instead, try a few calming breathing exercises or focus gently on your breath. Getting up and doing something quiet and relaxing, like reading under soft light, can help ease your mind until you feel sleepy again. Avoid watching the clock. Clock watching often fuels anxiety that makes sleep harder. Remember, quality sleep isn't a luxury. It's a foundation for your health, memory, mood, and energy. It supports your immune system and helps keep your heart strong. You deserve nights filled with rest and mornings full of vitality. So, if you've been accepting restless nights as just the way it is, maybe it's time for a fresh start. Little changes in your daily habits can bring big improvements to your sleep and to your life. Sweet dreams and peaceful nights are still within reach. Give yourself the gift of rest. Your body and mind will thank you for it. Mistake 8. Negative mindset, thinking, I'm past my prime, and losing motivation. There's a quiet voice that sometimes sneaks into our minds as we get older, a voice that tells us, I'm past my prime, or there's nothing new for me to do now. Maybe you've caught yourself thinking that way after retirement, or during quiet moments when the house feels too empty. It's natural to wonder if your best days are behind you, especially when society often sends messages that youth equals value, and aging means slowing down or stepping aside. But what if that voice is wrong? What if the idea that your life's best moments are over is simply a story you don't have to believe? The truth is, many people find their most fulfilling and joyful years come well after 65. It's not about the number of years lived, but the quality of moments lived, and that quality comes from mindset. Research in psychology shows that a positive mindset isn't just about feeling good. It improves your physical health, cognitive function, and longevity. Studies have found that seniors who maintain a hopeful, growth-oriented attitude tend to recover faster from illness, stay more engaged socially, and report higher overall happiness. On the other hand, a negative mindset can lead to isolation, depression, and a decline in health. Your thoughts have a powerful effect on your brain and body. Changing your mindset doesn't require a grand overhaul overnight. It can begin with small, intentional shifts, like challenging those limiting beliefs when they arise. Instead of saying, I can't learn new things, try reminding yourself, I'm curious to discover what's still possible. Instead of, I'm too old to try, think, every day is a chance for a new beginning. These simple reframes can open doors you might have closed. Consider taking up a hobby you've always wanted to try, signing up for a class, volunteering, or reconnecting with old friends. These activities spark a sense of purpose and joy, and they remind you that growth and learning are lifelong adventures. Even small steps count. A walk in the park, a phone call to a loved one, or a creative project can all help shift your focus from what you've lost to what you still have and can build. Let me share a story about Mr. Lee, a retired carpenter from New Mexico. After retiring, he felt adrift and began to believe his most productive years were behind him. But when his granddaughter invited him to help build birdhouses for a community project, something changed. He discovered that teaching and sharing his skills brought him a new sense of pride and connection. Inspired, he started a small woodworking group for seniors at his local center, creating not just birdhouses, but friendships and renewed purpose. Mr. Lee often says, I'm not done yet. If anything, I'm just getting started. If you find yourself stuck in thoughts that say, I'm too old or it's too late, remember you're not alone, and those thoughts don't define you. Your mindset is a garden, and you have the power to nurture the seeds of hope, curiosity, and joy. It's never too late to plant new dreams, learn new things, and make new memories. You deserve a life full of meaning, excitement, and connection, no matter your age. So take a deep breath. Permit yourself to believe in your potential, and take that next small step forward. Your prime isn't behind you. It's right here, right now. Mistake 9. Overly frugal with healthcare, avoiding medication or doctor visits. Many of us have been taught the value of thrift from a young age. Saving money, avoiding waste, and making every dollar count. These principles served us well throughout life. So it's no surprise that when it comes to healthcare, some seniors feel a strong urge to be cautious with spending. Maybe you've skipped a doctor's appointment because you thought, it's probably nothing, or hesitated to fill a prescription to save money. Perhaps you're worried about co-pays, deductibles, or the mounting costs of medications. It's easy to think, I don't want to be a burden, or I can manage this on my own. But here's an important question. Is being overly frugal with your healthcare saving you money, or could it be costing you more in the long run? Avoiding regular doctor visits or skipping medications might seem like a smart way to save a few bucks today, but it often leads to bigger problems tomorrow. Untreated health conditions can worsen silently, turning manageable issues into emergencies that require expensive hospital stays or surgeries. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services estimate that preventable complications from neglecting routine care cost the system and patients billions each year. Taking care of yourself early can prevent those avoidable crises and keep you healthier longer. The truth is, you've earned benefits that many younger people don't have. Medicare covers a wide range of preventive services, like annual wellness visits, screenings for heart disease, diabetes, cancer, and more. There are programs to help with prescription costs, including Extra Help and Medicare Part D. Many communities offer free or low-cost clinics designed specifically to help seniors access care without financial stress. Your doctors want to help you stay well, not just treat emergencies. They can work with you to find affordable medication options and tailor care to fit your situation. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. If the thought of medical bills or insurance paperwork feels overwhelming, you're not alone. It's okay to ask for help, whether from a family member, a social worker, or a patient advocate. You don't have to navigate this alone. Take the story of Mrs. Thompson, a lively grandmother from Georgia. She used to avoid doctor visits because she feared the cost and didn't want to add to her family's burden. When she finally saw a physician regularly, they caught her high blood pressure early and adjusted her medications. She learned about programs that helped her afford her prescriptions and kept her heart healthy. Mrs. Thompson's energy returned, and she began volunteering at her church again. She often says, "Taking care of myself was the best gift I gave to my family." If you're hesitant to seek care or take medications, try to remember, your health is an investment, not an expense. When you prioritize your well-being, you give yourself more time and quality of life. More moments with loved ones, more days to enjoy your favorite activities. So, if you've been holding back on doctor visits or medications to save money, consider reaching out today. Talk openly with your healthcare provider about your concerns and financial worries. Together, you can find a plan that works for you. Remember, accepting help and care isn't a sign of weakness. It's an act of strength and self-respect. You deserve to live well, with peace of mind about your health. Don't let fear of costs keep you from getting the care you need. Your body, your future, and those who love you will thank you for it. Mistake 10. Neglecting hobbies, joy, and creativity. As the pace of life slows down, many seniors find themselves with more free time than ever before. Yet, paradoxically, this abundance of time can sometimes feel empty or even lonely. Maybe the hobbies you once loved have fallen by the wayside, or perhaps you've never really taken the time to explore new interests. It's easy to tell yourself that hobbies and creative activities are just for younger people, or that at your age, it's too late to start something new. You might think, "I should be resting," or "there's nothing left that excites me anymore." But what if neglecting your passions and creativity is quietly taking a toll on your happiness and even your health? What if rediscovering joy through hobbies could be the spark that lights up your days and strengthens your mind and body? Science supports what many of us feel deep down. Engaging in creative activities and hobbies improves mental sharpness, reduces stress, and boosts overall well-being. The Alzheimer's Association and other experts highlight that activities like painting, gardening, playing music, or even cooking help keep the brain active, nurture a sense of purpose, and foster social connections. Creativity isn't just about art. It's about expression, exploration, and joy. You don't need to be an expert or have a perfect talent. It's about the process, not the product. Maybe you loved to knit in your youth, or you've always wanted to learn photography, or join a dance class. Even simple activities like coloring, journaling, or bird watching can bring pleasure and calm. And if you're worried about starting something alone, look for community centers, clubs, or online groups where you can share your interests and meet like-minded people. Take the story of Mrs. Delgado, a retired nurse from California. After years focused on work and family, she felt a bit lost when she retired. One day, she picked up an old guitar from the attic and decided to try playing again. It wasn't easy at first. Her fingers were stiff, and she had forgotten many chords. But slowly, her confidence grew. She began attending a local seniors music group and even started writing simple songs. Music brought new friends into her life, helped her feel youthful and joyful, and gave her a renewed sense of purpose. If you're wondering how to begin, start small. Set aside just 10 or 15 minutes a day to explore something that piques your interest. Maybe it's watering a few plants, doodling, or trying a new recipe. Notice how it makes you feel. You might find that these moments of joy ripple through your day, lifting your spirit and energizing your mind. Remember, life's richness doesn't end with age, it deepens. Embracing hobbies and creativity is a celebration of all the experiences that have shaped you, a way to honor yourself, and a path to fresh adventures. You deserve to feel excited about your days and proud of your creative spirit. So, if you've been putting your passions on hold or thinking it's too late to try something new, consider this an invitation. Dive in with curiosity and kindness toward yourself. Your creativity and joy are gifts, not just to yourself, but to everyone lucky enough to share your journey. Every brushstroke, every note, every stitch, or every moment spent in joy is a testament to your vibrant, enduring spirit. Let your heart lead the way. You might be surprised where it takes you next. As we've explored today, these 10 silent mistakes: neglecting mental health, relying only on walking, poor nutrition, not drinking enough water, ignoring pain, refusing help, struggling with sleep, negative thinking, being overly frugal with healthcare, and neglecting hobbies, may seem small or even harmless on their own. But together, they quietly chip away at your happiness, health, and independence. The good news is that none of these mistakes is set in stone. Every one of them can be changed with small, gentle steps. It doesn't have to be overwhelming or perfect. It just takes a little awareness and a willingness to try something new. Whether it's reaching out to a friend, adding a few simple stretches to your day, drinking an extra glass of water, or picking up that hobby you've always loved, each positive change is a victory. Remember, aging is not about giving up or slowing down. It's about adapting, growing, and finding joy in new ways. You have a lifetime of wisdom and strength to draw upon, and plenty of opportunities ahead to live fully and well. Take a moment now to reflect. Which of these lessons resonated most with you? What's one small change you feel ready to make today? I invite you to share your thoughts in the comments below. Your story might inspire someone else to take their first step, too. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe so we can continue exploring ways to live healthier, happier lives together. Remember, you're never alone, and the best is yet to come.